Are we live? I said, are we live? Well, if we live, then let's get it. Alrighty, everybody. Minister Brother Derek here. I just want to do this real quick. It's 4:39. Let's go ahead and get it. Let's just go ahead and get this. I'm going to drop it for you. Stop looking, listen. Please stop resisting. It's a new day. Let's try a new way. Jesus put an offer on the table. And everyone out there is now able to come home with God in your heart. You're never alone. If you believe me, you don't need that weed. Give Jesus a hug and put down those drugs. The victory over death is already won. So why are you picking up that gun? If your spirit is activated, now think. Why do you need that alcoholic drink? Because the devil tells you. He rules you. He fools you. But the minister is here to school you. I'm here to preach. I'm here to teach. And it's you I'm trying to reach through this song that I compose. When Jesus comes back, only God knows. Are you ready or are you sitting heavy? Are you ready or are you sitting heavy? You won't be if you follow me. All right, come on with it now. Oh God, what can I say about thee? You still love us sinners and you offer your grace for free. I'm not worthy, but you still search me out of a life of sin. And with Jesus' help, I know I can win. I love serving my Lord. He opens the door to a relationship with God. This is the only way in. In the name of Jesus, I always pray and I lay myself as a footstool for the lost demons. I know that for me. It's not cool to be a believer, but I'm not with my soul in the hands of the deceiver, a wicked devil who bring up input trouble. I put my desires on ice and long for reaching paradise. A day with no pain, no stress. You gave me the way, and now I'm blessed. You can test me, let the devil stress me. But baby, hell is one place I don't want to see. So stop, look, and listen. Please stop resisting. It's a new day. Let's try a new way. Are you ready or are you set heavy? Stop, look, and listen. Please stop resisting. It's a new day. Let's try a new way. Minister, Brother Derek. I hope y'all enjoyed that. Peace, everyone. This is Minister Brother Derek. I'm coming at y'all real. And that's what I do. It's really hard to be a Christian in 2020. Yes, it is. Everybody seems to have a double stamp on it. And we don't get no respect in the world. We are considered weak. We are considered strong. We are considered dumb for believing in the book. But yet these people have no morals. And you see where the world is going to. We get no credit. So this is for those who are ignorant, who are remaining, who are thinking on the Jesus. Let's get it. Every day I dance before the Lord. So I stay connected to Jesus like an extension cord. I walk upon the Christ as long as my name is in the book of life. Let my light shine. Let it broadcast worldwide. I let Jesus be my guide. And if he lets me live another day, I'll continue to come to the people and say, stop being selfish, stop sinning, come to God, and start winning. I roll with the Lord who is in control. Heaven is my goal, this earth is a first level. I help my fellow man deal with the devil. He's a liar, he's a fraud. His desire is to keep me away from my God. The most people I come off as righteous, but if tempted, I might just do a few of the things that God can't stand. He frowns on every day. I've been reborn, I've been hit with many opportunities. I cannot remain in unity with the Holy Father. Sometimes I wonder, is it worth the bother? I've remained devout, but it feels like I'm missing out. Most of the people that I meet who lie, steal, and cheat seem content, while Christians like me, our time is spent struggling. It should be the other way around. I'm not complaining, but how can you tell someone who's living it up to give it up when they're posting high? Doing right is a headache. There's got to be a better road to take. You know, a middle ground between Jesus and Satan. I know who will follow me. I'm not debating for what I'm waiting for. Satan is winning the battle, but God is winning the war. Every day I dance before the Lord, so I stay connected to Jesus like an extension cord. I welcome all the strife as long as my name is in the book of life. So let my light shine, let it broadcast worldwide. I let Jesus be my guide, and if He lets me live another day, I'll continue to song Christ as long as my name is in the book of life. Let my light shine, let it broadcast worldwide. I let Jesus be my God, and if He lets me live. The Minister Brother Derek Show, and I am Minister Brother Derek. I just want to say that I love Jesus, and that's the title of this song. I love you, Jesus. We'll follow you wherever you lead us.
I love you, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. Don't let the devil deceive us.
I love you, Jesus.
Can't get enough.
Hey.
I love my Jesus. But people say to keep it real. But here's the deal. If you're not saved, you're missing out. If you're not born again, your future is in doubt. Your body wasn't made to last. When your time comes, it will be reduced to ash. Your flesh will rot, but your light will not. You know your soul will go on forever, so you better realize that you need God, or you will be surprised by the pain of a flame that never goes out. The pits of hell, where the heat swells up, there's no relief, not for a moment of peace. The agony and cries never cease, and someone in the background singing, "Burn, baby, burn. This isn't normal. Burn, baby, burn. I'm a walking inferno." But seriously though, this will happen if Jesus come back and finds you napping. See, no one knows the time of day, but if you follow the word,
Hey, Nia.
it won't matter anyway. Because in heaven, no one will ever be sick or shed a tear. So in this realm, I show no fear. What you gonna do? Kill me? Make me a martyr? Give me a head start? Put me on the fast track? So keep macking, keep stacking, keep on shacking up. But get caught napping and the jig is up. And I just want to say, I love you, Jesus. Follow you wherever you lead us. I love you, Jesus. Don't let that devil deceive us. I love you, Jesus. If you think that witnessing to your neighbors is weird, think of foreign countries with statues of idols are revered. Nations of people who don't know God, only mythical characters like a paddle.
I love you, Jesus.
Most Americans believe in one Lord, one superior being. Christians should be scorned of souls by the million, but we spend our time fulfilling the desires of our flesh. We won't give Jesus our best effort, but we ask for blessings that we don't
I
deserve.
love you,
And you wonder
Jesus.
why our prayers are not heard. In church, you put down those you really admire. You know you have a desire to make that easy money. Drive the fancy car. You feel like a star. When you enter the bars or clubs, deep down your spirit isn't for God or His ways. So why should anybody listen to a darn thing you say? I love you, Jesus. Follow you wherever you lead us.
I love you, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. Don't let the devil deceive us.
I love you, Jesus.
I love you, Jesus. We'll follow you wherever you lead us.
I love you, Jesus.
Let the Holy Spirit lead us. And one more time, I love you, Jesus. All right, y'all, let's get it. Let's get to the Bible study. The minister, Brother Derek Show. Let's get it.
All righty. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the minister, Reverend Brother Derek Vlogs. Welcome to the show. We broadcasting on 2 channels today. We're doing a Wednesday Bible study. I know I'm late. It's after 9, but we're here. Somebody put the curse on last night because somebody said he's yawning, but he's probably going to sit up. And that person was right. I actually started watching Stranger Things again. And once you can get past the gross creatures, it's actually pretty good. What kept stopping me from watching it was gross. But I'm on the 3rd season, season 1. I mean, episode 1 of the 3rd season. So I sat up all night watching Stranger Things. It's okay. I finished The Flash, and so I said, well, let me give this Stranger Things another try, and I did. It's okay. But don't laugh at me. I'm on season 13 of Project Runway. I sure hope that woman wins it, but I doubt it. Because that Hawaiian guy and that white lady good. I don't think that white lady going to make it. Anyway, our topic today, I wanted to switch it up. Because we supposed to be in Acts. But I thought I'd switch it up today. Ava said, tonight I'm listening. We're glad to have you here, Ava. I see Nia also. It's 3 people on. It was 3 people on the Reverend channel and 4 people on the Minister channel. Now it's 4 people on the Minister channel, and no, the numbers went back up. Hold on a sec. Anyway, we're gonna take a look at I can't guarantee this. I can't say it with 100% of surety, because I wasn't there. But I believe that this is Jesus's brother James. I can't verify it, but there's also a gospel of James. Are they the same people? I don't know. I wasn't there. But we're going to take a look at James 1 and James 2 for our Bible study tonight. So y'all got Bibles, you can break them out. And if you don't, then don't worry, I got you covered. All you got to do is look at the screen. James 1. Now, he calls himself a servant of God and of Jesus Christ. Like I said, I don't know if this was one of Jesus's brothers, or was he actually somebody that came after the 12 disciples? But he made it into the New Testament, so he had to have some kind of authority or power or ranking because he made it in. Is it the same James gospel that they left out the Bible? I don't know. I can't guarantee you. Like I said, I wasn't there. Some say it is, some say it ain't. So let's start. This is addressed to the 12 tribes scattered among the nations. I want y'all to notice something. When they say the 12 tribes scattered across the nations, the people that's sitting in Jerusalem now, didn't the majority of them come from Greenland? So how are they scattered across the nations? But we'll say that for another day. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance or perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If anything of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. Well, let's break down what he said so far. He says, consider it pure joy when you face trials. When you face trials and tribulations. When you have things or people working against you, instead of becoming upset or giving up, be happy. Be happy. Because I keep trying to tell y'all that these 70, 80, 90 years down here on earth is like an American Idol audition. Like Arrested Development said, you're on stage. You're always on stage because you're being watched. Every reaction, everything you do is being watched. And it's being recorded in your book of life. A lot of people find it hard to grasp that. And we're going to take a look at that because we're going to go and see how that's done. Because it was done to the Israelites when they first received the land of milk and honey. And Jesus was there with them and he caught everything they did wrong. He caught everything. And then when they asked for their own king, they kind of, brushed off Jesus being there in the cloud. And they went downhill. But if you're being put in some kind of trial or tribulation, don't let that bring you down. Instead, think of it as a chance to prove and improve yourself. Some of y'all say, well, prove to who? Prove to God and Jesus that you have the faith to endure, the faith to persevere through any conflict, through any trouble. Because your faith will be tested. Non-believers will test your faith the most. You talking all that fooey, I don't believe it. I'm going to do this to you and let me see how you respond. Because, see, non-believers always want you to have to prove something to them. You hear me say this a lot. People that have evil in their heart, mind, and souls, they need to be acknowledged. They need attention. They need to feel good about themselves. They need to feel superior. Because, see, they know the word just like you know the word, but they not willing to follow the word. They only want to follow the things that they agree with. The things that are okay with them is what they want to follow. When you try to reinforce the rules that are written that they disagree with, that's when the conflict comes. That's when you find out who is true and who is false. When you challenge somebody who's about to do wrong and they can give you 50 million reasons why they can do wrong, you only got to give them one reason why they should do right. If they still go and do the wrong, they have done what is called a sin. If you willingly do a sin again and again and again, you are making yourself an enemy of Jesus and God. I can't say it no plainer than that. For those of you who claim to be walking with Jesus and God, when the trials and tribulations come, if you turn away, your faith is weak. And if my memory serves me, I think that James is going to go into that in the next chapter, if I remember correctly. I haven't read it in a while. Y'all know we don't look at these in advance. They be cheating. It would give me an advantage over y'all if I looked at them in advance. That's why I wait right before the show, before I even put up the titles and everything. I don't want nobody to be able to go study and then come in here and act like they know it all when they don't know nothing. So that's why we try to keep it fair, legit, and on the board. But there's an old saying that was thrown about the Bible college when I attended, and it was faith without works is useless, and works without faith is useless. Have y'all heard that before? Because, see, a lot of the times when things go wrong, people say, well, you're being tested. You got to learn the difference between a test and something that you want to do. If you are a teenager attending high school and you want to be popular and you find out to be one of the popular kids means that you must engage in sexual acts, that you must make fun and beat down the nerds. If you knowingly agree to do these things, even though you know that Jesus and God hates it, you can't turn to Jesus and God and say, this is your fault, you're testing me. This is your fault. I want to be popular. Well, to walk with Jesus and God, sometimes you can't be popular in those circles. Well, I don't want to be with the nerd turds. I don't want to be with the Bible geeks. I don't want to be with the goody two shoes. I want to be with the cool people. Most of the cool people have evil intentions in their mind. They have evil thoughts, and they do things that Jesus and God can't stand. So when you blame Jesus and God and say, well, this isn't fair, you're trying to get me to do something that I don't want to do. You're tempting me. I don't want to be no nerd turd. I don't want people to make fun of me, give me wedgies. I want to have a date to the prom. But in order to follow you, I have to associate myself with people I look down on, people I think ain't worthy. Look at him with the glasses on, them big bifocals. Look like he can see the moon, every crate and inch of it. Look at him, nose always running. Look at him. Look at her, them daggone braces on, with them big old buck teeth. I don't want to associate with them people. I want to be with the big wigs. I want to be with the jocks. I want to be with the cool people. I want to be invited to all the parties. To have those things, you have to do things, or they're not going to let you hang with them. So is it more important for you to be in God's clique or to be the clique at your school, to be with the clique in your neighborhood, to be with the clique on your job, to be with the clique at your lounge, to be with the clique at the ladies' meeting? Is it more important for you to be with people and have a relationship with them or a relationship with Jesus and God? What's more important to you? When bad things come around, do you use the excuse that you're being tested as a way out for you to go participate in these things? Do you let people come get you to do things that you know you shouldn't do? And after you do them, you feel guilty. Do you come back and say, well, why did you put me in that position, Jesus and God? That shouldn't be the question. The question should be, why do I need these things? Instead of having a blossoming relationship with the two of you, why am I more concerned about people that can't do nothing for me? Why am I more concerned with the opinions of people who, if I don't do the sinful things they say, they will disown me and treat me like an outcast? Is it better to be an outcast of society or an outcast of paradise? This is the question that should be asked. Is it more important to be an outcast of society or an outcast of continuing on with God and Jesus on the new earth? Which is better? Which do you want? Which is more important? He says, if any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like the wave of a sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Such a person is double minded and unstable in all they do. They basically just said what I just said. Are you double minded? Are you a double agent? Are you an agent of the devil and his lies and trying to be an inside agent like 007? You trying to be a spy? Do you work both sides of the board? You were God and Jesus when you're around certain people in certain times of the year, and then the rest of the year you roll with the devil and his demons. You know, the one thing that is really bugging me, I went on and paid for the Netflix. Every one of their TV shows ain't nothing but lies. All they do is lie to each other and hide the truth from each other. And they do it consistently. I mean, if you literally was to write down how many lies is in an episode of The Flash? I think it's about 50. How many lies in the average show of what I'm watching right now, Stranger Things? Probably get another 50 out of every episode. How can we say we love somebody and yet keep lying to them? So does Jesus and God make you lie? Who makes you lie? Why is it so easy for you to lie? Why is it easier to tell somebody a lie instead of telling them the truth? This is the reason we will never be big. Because I tell people the truth they don't want to hear it. That's why I'm glad that this is not my full income. Because I would have to be like a lot of YouTubers and lie to you. A lot of people in the workforce, a lot of their customers. If they don't lie to them, they won't come. I'm paying you. You going to do what I say. Don't question me. Well, that's not something good you should do. Well, put on you. I'm going to go find somebody else who's going to do what I say without question. See, that's how evil gets a foothold in the door. When you make people feel that they don't belong, they can't fit into a certain part of society, they can't fit into a financial wave, you force them to swallow their pride. You force them to swallow their beliefs. You force them to do things that they normally wouldn't do. You force them to do things that the Bible tells them in particular words. Don't do that. Well, but Jesus and God understand, but I need to be number one. I need to make me some mucho denarius. And if I don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. And they're going to have the money and not me. If I don't lie to this girl, instead of trying to get her the help she needs, but she's so pretty, everybody want her. But you can see she need help. But if I go tell her she need help, I ain't got no chance of getting with her. So I'm going to lie to her. And I'll help her keep doing the things that she's doing is wrong, just so she'll show me favor. There are a lot of preachers that do that in the church. They welcome homosexuals into the church. They welcome people who contribute a lot. They allow them to run their church. But see, when you do things like that, you have to answer to Jesus and God for that. That's the one thing they ain't gonna tell you. See, the devil don't mind you going to church as long as you ain't learning nothing that's gonna help you grow closer to Jesus and God. He ain't concerned. When he finds out that you are trying to establish some kind of relationship, that's when he come, and he come heavy. You ain't on his radar. You are not on his radar until then. And you'll see things happening around you. And you'll go, wow. And you'll say, I'm being tested. But by who? Oh, my child just got sick. I just got hit by a car. I'm walking down the street, heading to the church, and I fell and broke my leg. Now people gonna look at me funny when I show up with a cast on. Maybe I'll wait until my leg heal and the cast come off before I go back. See, this was the double hoping. I blame Jesus and God for this. I'm not ever going to church again. How strong is your faith? I said earlier, works without faith is just as bad as faith without works. See, Job had faith in the word, the law, but he didn't have a relationship with Jesus and God. He did a lot of works. He did a lot of nice things for his fellow people. But he never tried to establish a relationship with Jesus and God. He knew it was a God. He just never tried to establish a relationship. To him, as long as he did good, as long as he followed the laws of God's word, to him, he thought he was good. Other than I expect you to bless me with nice things and riches, that was his relationship. I do this and you give me something. I do this and you give me something. I do this, you allow me to succeed. I'm starting a new farm. I'm going to go do something nice. I expect to have me a new farm. That's not a relationship. That sounds like a business opportunity. And see, the devil was fine with that. It's God that brought up Job. What do you think of my servant Job? Devil go, eh. That's because you got a hedge of protection around him. Is there no man like him? Ah, that's because you protect him. He wasn't worried about Job because he knew that Job was not walking with God. He knew that Job didn't have a relationship with God. The devil wasn't concerned about him. Is the devil concerned about you? If him and his demons ain't trying you, you should be concerned. Because see, Job was heading to hell without God's intervention. Has God tried to intervene for you? Have you brushed it off or ignored it? Because see, as long as you keep Jesus and God at bay, the devil happy with you. It's when you try to establish that connection, that's when he get mad. That's when him and the demons start coming for you. A smart person, a wise person learns the difference. Especially if you got people who call themselves church people in your family. But when you start trying a relationship, instead of them encouraging you on, they get angry with you. Hey, you doing a little too much there. You ain't got to do all that. You start doing that, people going to expect me to start doing that. Well, if they was into the word long before you came into it, they should be able to mentor you. But now they see you as an enemy. We supposed to both be following the same faith. We supposed to be united. Man, you just going too far. Going on Sunday is enough. You got to do both services on Sunday. You got to go on Wednesday to the Bible study. You got to show up for the Friday. I mean, goddamn, if you start doing that, they're going to expect me to start doing it. They're going to be like, well, I see you. Where's John at? Well, John is out drinking. I don't want to sit in the daggone church. People who should be mentoring you, should be patting you on the back, should be trying to strengthen you, are now working against you. You're making them look bad. Because see, an associate will come up and say, hey, you used to be into that church stuff, but look at your brother. He's really into it. Go ahead, boy. Now you mad. I used to be the church guy, never. But you worried about what that guy say. So now you going to go try to slow down your brother. You just doing too much, man. You taking it too far. You ain't got to do all that. All you got to do is just go sit in there for 3 hours on Sunday. DVR the game. But you going to have me DVRing all week. You going to have people asking me why I ain't at the bar. The girls going to be wondering what happened to me, why I don't come to the nudie bar no more. I'm sitting in church with you. You need to stop. Why is it that we need to slow down somebody so we can get where we want to get? But just like I said about the two brothers should be working together to make sure each other succeed. But if one person succeeds first, the other brother turns on the first brother. Instead of coming to the brother and saying, hey, you got here first, help me get there. So we're both successful. The one that's not successful is going to start planning on how to bring down the one who is. If the one who's successful first likes the attention and the praise that he get for being the first one to be successful, he might start plotting against his younger brother to make sure that he doesn't supplant him. He want to be the first in the family. The younger brother might surpass him. He might hold the younger brother down. These are not God's wishes. So whose wishes are they? Who's going to put that in your mind? Instead of saying, yeah, I want my brother to be successful as I am, maybe better. Nah, I'm going to knock him down. I'm going to hold him down. I'm going to keep him right beneath me so that I'm the big name. If you do that, you're not walking. If you have a neighborhood group and the lady across the street from you, her lawn is always pristine. Her trash is always set up perfectly for when the trash man come. Her children stay on her property and don't wander off into anybody else's. And you the total opposite. You got cars parked on the lawn, the children run all over the place. You let your dogs run, do their business in the next neighbor's yard. When you at the meeting, and the other neighbors say, hey, you need to be like the lady across the street. Instead of saying, y'all are correct, let me fix what I've been doing. Instead, but the son's an alcoholic and the husband don't even come home. And we're not talking about that. We talking about this is a neighborhood. Whether her son drinks too much or not, he ain't stumbling and the daggone falling in the gutter. Whether the husband cheating or not, he ain't sleeping with nobody out in the street. But when we walk by your house, we have to go on the other side of the street because we don't know what the heck going to jump out them 20-foot weeds in the yard. The people that you have hang around your house, we don't know if they're going to try and rob us or grab our young girls and pull them into them weeds. We don't know. We talking about you. Well, you talking about me. You need to go around by her because she might look okay in your opinion, but you don't look deep. See, when you start trying to defame somebody else to get the heat off you, you need to straighten up. Check yourself and get it together. Because I'll say it again. What makes you think that you're fit to carry on to Jesus and God if you're not even fit to your neighbors? Believers in humble circumstances ought to take pride in their high position. Wait a minute. Believers in humble circumstances should take pride in their high position. Wait a minute. Humble means ordinary, plain, poor. Why should they take pride in those things? Doesn't society say that they're the bottom? Doesn't society say they're bottom of the barrel? Well, why does it say that those in humble circumstances ought to take pride in their high position, not low position? Society says they're losers. Society says they're bums. Society says they're ordinary. Society says they have no flair, no personality, no excitement. How are they in a high position? See, when you examine the word, examine it. Don't just read it. How are they in a high position? Well, let's read on and find out. What is Mr. James talking about? How are the losers, according to society, how are they in a high position? Shouldn't the wealthy be in a high position? Let's take a look. But the rich should take pride in their humiliation. Wait a minute. The rich should take pride in their humiliation. Wait a minute. The regular people are in a high position, but the rich are in a humiliating position. I would think if you went to a family reunion, a high school reunion, 20-year high school reunion, and you showed up homeless, wouldn't you be at the bottom of the barrel at that reunion? Wouldn't you be the humiliated one? But he's saying the rich should take pride in their humiliation. Well, we got to look at this. Since they will pass away like a wildflower. For the sun rises with scorching heat and withers the plant. Its blossom fails and its beauty is destroyed. In the same way, the rich will fade away even while they go about their business. Wait a minute. In society, we taught if you want to be right, if you want to be well, you must be rich. But here it says the rich will be humiliated. That the rich cannot continue to blossom. And a lot of rich people are beautiful. But it says their beauty will be destroyed. This is the total opposite of what we taught in society. We're taught that you want to be rich. But why is James saying that it's the opposite? So who flipped it? Who flipped the script? This is flipping the script right here. No, would anybody like to comment on that? This is a flip of the script. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. Wait a minute. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those that love him. Well, how does that tie into what we just read in the verse before? Because most people that are wealthy or well off, they love their riches. They love their power. They love having people in obedience to them. They're not so much worried about having obedience to God, Most of them are worried about people being obedient to them. And they're going to lose the greatest rich of all, and that's eternal life. There's an old saying that says, better to have health than riches. What could be better than after Judgment Day having a body that don't have no faults, living a life with no illnesses, not having to count how many days you got? Well, I'm 50. I got about 25, 30 more years before I keep the bucket. What's more valuable than that? If you put riches, cars, houses, real estate, if those what's important to you, you going in the furnace of fire. And for those of y'all who say, "Oh, you can't say that," well, it's right there. You will be destroyed. People who don't have much are more likely to have a relationship with God because they don't have the distractions that money brings. They're more humble. What does that mean? I say it again. Somebody that's barely making ends meet, if you ask them, would tell them, "Yeah, I'm doing bad." Somebody that's doing well will believe, "My money will get me out this situation. My fame will get me out of this situation." They less likely to ask Jesus and God to get them out of that situation. And that's why the ordinary will always be first because they're more likely to reach out. Whereas somebody who always gets their way, who always seems to be successful without trying, somebody who has something always given to them, they're going to be less likely to say, "Hey, God, I need help." My money will get me out of it. I got the best doctors in the world. I ain't worrying about this. I got what? Yeah, my doctors are correct. It's all good. Somebody who don't have access to that great health care is more likely to turn to God. By turning to God, they're more likely to walk with God. They're more likely to listen when somebody tells them about God. Somebody who never has a problem, never has a worry. Yeah, hey, Jesus and God, we love you, but I got everything I need. Everything get taken care of for me. I ain't got problem in the world. This is why they say it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter paradise. Because they don't have no relationship with Jesus or God. And if they do have one, it's a casual one. When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me, for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. I was growing up, I touched on this earlier. I'm glad they backing me up. I used to hear all the time, why are you doing this to me, Lord? I get angry at myself because I catch myself doing it, especially when I'm out there on the bike. If I do everything I can to shore up all the loose ends, and I go right outside and we start the live and everything fall apart, I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck? I done everything I could to shore everything up, yet everything is falling apart. Things falling off the bike, things breaking for no reason. Like, what the hell? I understand that things will happen, but man, sometimes it's like, how are these things happening when there's no reason for it? And you'll hear me say, is there anybody upstairs? And the reason I say that is because I know that in order for the devil to do something to you, he got to go ask God permission. He just can't do it on his own. So obviously they must agree. And that's where the anger and broderism come out at. But I got to remind myself, Jesus and God don't care about amount. They don't care about a chain coming off for no reason. They don't care about a flat tire. That's not important to them. It's important to us. Not one of those things has stopped us from going where we had to go. Not one of those things has stopped us from completing the live. These things are fixed within 2 days with Prime shipping. Just like the memory card. We had to go out on a live yesterday and we had no 360 support. Well, the new memory card is in the Samsung camera and it's up on the bike and it's ready to go for our trip to the market tomorrow. The bike is charged up. I need to unplug it. The battery is full. The power banks are full. If I leave out early in the morning, I might want to charge the lights up overnight. But everything is ready to go. I've had to condition myself. Somebody doesn't want me to bring you this word. Somebody doesn't want me to be successful, even in the mobile live. Why get mad about it? Whatever is done, I can fix it. even though I'm supposed to be broke. Now, if we lose Bessie, it'd be a big blow. But if we do lose Bessie, we got Marsha. If we lose Marsha, we got a bike in the closet. So even though we supposedly broke, we got 3 layers of defense. 3 layers. Would it hurt? Yes, it would. Would it stop me from doing what I do? No, it won't. It'll just make it a little more difficult, but it won't stop it. Because, see, those that are humble, we get angry, but we fix it and we use what we got. Somebody rich might fall off the rail. What do you mean I ain't got no more money? I was just at $10 million yesterday. How come I only got $50,000? What? Huh? What? They would fall to pieces. I still have. Wait a minute. I haven't seen it. I don't know if I still got it. I think we still got the dolly cart. The cart I used to drag behind me. If we had to go back to that, I wouldn't be happy about it. But that's what we would have to do. See, people that's humble, we know how to make do. But imagine somebody used to ride in limos, used to being driven everywhere. They all of a sudden had to get on the subway. Would drive them to drink. Would drive them to drugs. They might commit suicide. I got to get on the subway with them stinking people? What? There's a difference. Somebody that's humble in real life was more likely to turn to God for strength. Somebody who's used to getting their own way all the time, used to having everything easy, their reaction is not going to be the same. The same way when Jesus asked the rich young man, go sell everything you have. Give the money to the poor and come follow me. That young man had a chance to become the 13th disciple. But his whole personality, his whole being and soul was built around him being rich. His father was rich and he was rich. Now, somebody that's humble would say, well, if I sell everything I have and I go follow the Lord, surely in the end, he's going to bless me with more than I got right now. He did it for Job. Why won't he do it for me? But rich people don't think that way. That young man couldn't see himself being poor. Everybody saying yes to him. Yes, sir. Yes, yes. Welcome, welcome. We go, yeah, you ain't got no money. Got my face. Used to the women coming around. Yeah, he's rich. He's young and rich. Look at him. He's so handsome. He got money. And they go, you broke bastard. You're a diamond that's got my face. He couldn't live like that. And that's why he turned down a great opportunity. But it's not just the rich. The rich just more likely to turn down Jesus or God because they got their own God. It's called money, property, things. But there's something else that can keep us from having a relationship with God. Because Jesus asked another young man, drop what you're doing and come follow me. The young man didn't have a lot of stuff to sell. He just said, stop what you're doing, come follow me. The man said, my father just died, and give me a chance to bury him, and then I'll come follow you. So this man didn't have riches. This man had nothing to lose. But he saw following Jesus as a nowhere situation. So he used his father's death as an excuse. If his father's dead already, why would his father care whether or not he came back to bury him or not? He had a chance to go be with the Messiah and learn and teach. Burying his father was more important. And Jesus turned to him and said, let the dead bury the dead. Our God is a God of the living. The young man still didn't follow him. He wanted to go bury his father and see what his share of the inheritance was. After he done that, well, then maybe I'll come follow you. But I mean, I gotta go see what my inheritance is. I'm the oldest son. I get half. The other siblings, they only get a third. They got divided up. I get half. And they get broken into thirds. Whatever's left, I get half. I gotta see what my money is. Am I getting cattle? And then the jewelry, cash, diamond, rubies, whatever dad got. I got to get mine first. Then I'll come follow you. Y'all understand where I'm going at? When you put the things on this earth above the relationship with Jesus and God, you lose. You lose, the devil wins. And keep in mind what Jesus said for those of y'all who might have let that roll past your brain and didn't take it in. Jesus said, God is a God of the living. What does that mean? God is a God of the living. What does that mean? He's not talking about dying and having your body being put in a grave. Because, like I tell you, the spirit leaves the body when you're dead. And that spirit goes either to hell or to paradise. The people that God is worried about, they're going to paradise and then they're going to live forever. So he's not a God of the dead, because the dead are going to be tossed into that lake of sulfur, furnace of fire, lake of fire, whatever you want to call it. And they will be dead, and he will not be their God. So when you hear that phrase, God of the living, he's talking about his people, the people that he know and care for and care back for him. He's not talking about people who say out their mouth, but don't back it up with faith and works. We come back to that phrase again, faith and works. You can say all day that you love Jesus Christ, but then I sit there and I watch what you do, and it shows me you don't act like Jesus. Your mouth says one thing, but your actions say something else. You got a lot of people that do a lot of good works, but once again, when you look at them, don't nothing about them say Jesus. Nothing. You can't have faith without works, and works without faith don't mean nothing. You got to have both. And faith is a strong belief that no matter what happens, as long as you hold fast to God and his commandments, as long as you hold fast to that connection with Jesus Christ, and then that connection you'll get after satisfying Jesus Christ that you worthy, that connection with God. If you can hang on long enough to get that, that should be the ultimate goal. Not we need to get a house, not we need to get a car, not we need to get a good job, not we need our friends to be jealous of us. As long as you worrying about them things, you ain't worried about Jesus and God. You ain't worried about Jesus and God, you going into the lake of fire. It's that simple. Somebody should be able to look at you and know. If somebody can't look at you and think, if you got to have the suit on, the hat on, you got to have on that crazy old lady hat. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Them crazy hats they be wearing. If you got to have that for somebody to know you're religious, you ain't doing it right. Somebody should be able to see it in you. They should be able to see your glow and be able to say, if you're a soldier in the military, you should be able to spot another soldier at first glance. You should be, if you're a rock star, you should be able to spot another rock star on sight. If you're a rapper, you should be able to spot another rapper on sight. Just seeing them, you should be able to say, I bet you he won. If a follower of Jesus Christ and Lord God the Father, Jehovah, Yahweh, if somebody can't look at you and tell, or even have an idea, you're doing something wrong. All right, hold on a sec, y'all. We got we have a troll on the other channel. Did anybody get rid of him? Did anybody is three people on that channel? Did nobody get rid of the troll? Hold on. That's sad that we gotta stop the show for this. It really is. Hold on. All right, good. They both here. So one got 3. It's on the one that's 3. Okay. It's the Reverend channel. And that. All right, good. They both here. So one got. Let me mute that. Uh, Go to live chat. Okay. Let me get this person out of here. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. We had to let me see if any more came over. No, we had to get rid of that troll. Sorry about that, y'all. Well, that's the danger of broadcasting on two different channels. Everybody's gonna come to one, and people are gonna be on the other channel saying whatever they want to say. Yeah, there's none on the minister channel. That was the Reverend channel. We actually on both channels right now. Now I gotta find where I was. When tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me, for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. That's a good point right there. God cannot be tempted by evil, nor will he try to tempt anyone. Now, I believe Tristan said something about we were we was in Samuel, right? And it said that God sent evil spirits into the mind of some people. Just because he sent the spirits into the mind of them people, they didn't have to do it. I want y'all to understand that. He did it to save a follower of his, but he had Jesus do it. God didn't do it. He might have commanded it to save one of his followers' life. But it goes to show you, God does show favor to those that favor him. So for those of you who say, well, he loves us all. He wants to love you all. But some of you ain't worth loving. And you become expendable. Let that marinate. Because you got preachers telling you that God is loving, that yes, he is loving. But if you don't show you worthy of the love, you expendable. And it's really an ego trip for you to think that he ain't gonna do nothing to me because I'm special. He ain't gonna do nothing to me because he love everybody. Then why people getting thrown in the furnace? Why people gonna suffer in baby hell for thousands of years? Are you one of his, or are you belong to the world? You can't belong to both. You got to serve one or the other. You got to serve this world, or you got to serve God. Which one is it? Can't do both. A lot of people try and do both. I see them. Yeah, man. I'll be on church on Sunday, but right now I gotta go sell these drugs. Yeah, man, I'll be church on Sunday, but right now I gotta go pimp these women. They're trying to lead two lives. They double agents. You can't be a double agent. You on one side or the other. You on one side or the other. Mexico might be getting themselves in trouble because with all the help that we give Mexico, they siding with the Russians. You figure they would side with the USA. They siding with Russia. Does that mean our relationships are going to be strained with Mexico? I don't know. I really don't know. But when tempted, no one should say, God is tempting me, for God cannot be tempted by evil, nor does he tempt anyone. But each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed. What? You are tempted when you are dragged away by your own evil desire and are enticed. Then, after desire has conceived, it gives birth to sin. Wait a minute. An evil desire. That means you have to want it, even though you've been taught it's wrong, even though you know it's wrong, even though you see the bad result, you still do it. You know, I'm watching Stranger Things now, and it seems like almost everybody's smoking that daggone film, like chimneys, especially the cop. God darn! If I see another person smoke a cigarette, smoke like chimneys. How many people know about the effects of cigarette smoking and still smoke? How many people know that smoking weed is almost as bad as smoking cigarettes? People say the nicotine is addictive, and it is. But nicotine by itself won't kill you. Nicotine by itself won't damage your lungs. It's the other 1,000 carcinogens when you burn the tobacco. It's the other 1,000 carcinogens. One of them being formaldehyde. If formaldehyde can keep your body from rotting long enough for the funeral, how long will it stay in your system when you're alive? And you keep taking it in, taking it in, taking it in. I often wondered how many toxins has my body been able to get rid of since I stopped smoking February the 4th, 2016. We passed February for 2022. So it's been about what? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. 23. God darn. Wait a minute. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We're in 22. It's been 7 years. They say it takes about 5 years for your body to get rid of all the toxins. See, when you keep doing it, you keep putting the toxins back in, it's hard for the body to get rid of it. They say it takes about 5 years. I remember when I smoked, if somebody was around me smoking, it bothered me if I wasn't smoking with them. Whenever there was a fire, the smell of whatever was burning was enough to bring me to my knees. If somebody had just mowed the lawn, the smell of, the bushes and the grass being cut was enough to bring me to my knees. I don't know if the live stream is up, but I know back, I think 2018, we did a mobile live while I'm walking up the mountain. I call it the mountain. I'm walking up the street, and this old lady is trimming her hedges. And I had to sit down at that bus stop. The bench ain't there anymore. They got rid of it for some reason. But there used to be my resting spot. I had a resting spot where I would walk half the hill, and there was some steps I would sit on, and then we would go up and try and make it up to the street, and by the church, it was a park bench there, and I used to sit on that park bench. I sat on that park bench for half an hour. That's how bad that lady doing her lawn, and it wasn't even a big lawn. She was doing her yard, and it put me on my knees. I could walk by that now and not flinch. I was someplace the other day. People were smoking like chimneys. Sometimes I'd be at the market and people be out there smoking. It don't bother me like it used to. That means that my lungs are healing. But see, we know this. Yet, how many people still smoke? The government realizes this, and they put, you can't smoke here, you can't smoke there. They raise the price of the cigarettes. And yet, people will defend their right to smoke to the day they die, even though they know it's killing them. We got all these DUIs out here. We got people dying from alcohol overdose, and people will fight to the death if they can't have the alcohol. If you got a selfish desire to do something, you're going to do it no matter what. This puts you in direct opposition to God because you're killing the body He gave you. You are in direct opposition. And you know this. And instead of making the corrections, you're going to, I'm going to find places where I can smoke. I'm going to find people who don't mind me smoking around them. I'm gonna find people who don't mind kissing me, even though I smell like an old bottle of Muscatel. I'm gonna find some people who don't mind the smell. I'm going to find some people that won't take advantage of me when I'm drunk. I'm going to find some people that's not going to mind me, them not being able to get into the bathroom because my head is in the toilet bowl all morning. And they can't get in there and get ready for work and do their business. I got to find them kind of people. And as long as you willing to do these extra steps to do the things that you know you shouldn't be doing, you in opposition. Because you won't come to God and Jesus and say, hey, I need help. You won't come. Help me find a solution. Help me find a way to cope. Instead, you keep trying to do on your own. Each person is tempted when they are dragged away by their own evil desire and then enticed. Then after the desire is conceived, it gives birth to sin. And sin, when it is full grown, gives birth to death. So you are separated. When you start partaking in that sin, you separate yourself from Jesus and God. You say, I can handle everything. And that I can handle everything leads to death. It could lead to your first death. It could contribute to it. But it's definitely going to affect the second death. The second death is when your spirit gets stoned. First death is your body. The second death is your spirit being snuffed out. Poof. And that's what sin leads to. Death. So for the people who aren't known by God and Jesus, they mark for death. The God is not a God of people marked for death. He's a God of the living. Not the living on earth right now, but the spiritual living. Not the body, but the spirit that gives life to the body. The spirit that after the first death leaves the body. The spirit that makes it the paradise. Yes, he's God over all. But his chosen people are the ones he delights in. Are you one of those chosen? You know, some people that's well-to-do, they might have several cars. The cars they really don't care about, they're the ones they tear up. But the ones they cherish, they're the ones they keep in the garage, under the cover. That's the one you see them out there washing, making sure the chrome shining, everything look good on it. You don't think God's like that with his people? If something happened to one of the cars he don't care about, he concerned, but like, yeah, yeah, get it fixed, put it back on the road, or we'll just replace it. But when something happened to his baby, he'll be on a tirade for weeks. Some of you got children. Some of your children you die for. Some people got children that they couldn't care if they were still breathing. I'm just trying to give you some analogies. Don't be deceived, my dear brothers and sisters. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. He chose to give us birth through the word of the truth, that we might be a kind of first fruits of all he created. So what happened when we don't do that? My dear brothers and sisters, take note of this. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry, because human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Can I read this again? Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. This is something I tell you all the time. A lot of you don't hear it. Why was I so good at roasting people? I listen to what they say and then respond, rather than responding first and looking stupid. I listen to what they have to say. Then I beat them upside the head with what they say. That's the secret. Listen to what they're saying. Then throw the illogicy, throw the feelings, throw their stupid way of thinking back at them. That's the secret to any kind of debate. Listen to the view of your opponent. Break down what they say. Take what they say that sounds silly and show everybody how silly it sounds. That's the secret. As long as you can do that, you will never lose. You won't lose a debate. You won't lose a battle. But when you start running off at the mouth and getting angry and start saying the first thing that comes into your head, that's when you lose. Because the person just going to prove how idiotic what you're saying is. Because at that moment, it might sound good in your head, but after you say it, you go, damn, I shouldn't have said that. What made me say that? What was I thinking? It's too late then. You about to get beat up. It's too late then. Quick to listen, slow to speak back, and slow to become angry. When you're angry, you ain't thinking straight. Human anger does not produce the righteousness that God desires. Therefore, get rid of all moral filth and the evil that is so prevalent, and humbly accept the word planted in you, which can save you. What? Get rid of all the moral filth and evil that is so prevalent. That's why I tell you, when you come to Jesus, you got to let go of all that stuff you were doing before. You got to let it go. You got to let it go. The same way I had to let the stuff that I enjoy go. I ain't had a pizza in so long. I ain't had a cheesesteak in so long. In so long. I haven't had my gummies in so long. The only chocolate that I've had in the past, man, I could go for a Reese's right now. I could go for a Snickers right now. Mm. Instead, I settle for a tangerine. Instead, I settled for some unsweetened applesauce. I only got one left. I think I got 4 tangerines left. I still got a bag of that shrimp and rice that's together. And then in the refrigerator, I got six. I broke them down in 6 pieces at a time. Iron made out of that 2 pound bag. I'm gonna be getting 6 meals out of that 2 pound bag of shrimp, along with the rice. And I used a card that I don't have much experience with making spaghetti, but I ordered some, not the long noodles, but the short noodles. I ordered them, and I ordered some steak not some spaghetti sauce. And I'm gonna try spaghetti this month. I'm still gonna have the shrimp in it, but we're gonna try it with spaghetti sauce. And I'm gonna strain it. You're supposed to strain the noodles after you cook it. I throw everything in there and then I strain it. So you let all the bad stuff go down the drain. But we're gonna try that. We tried barbecue sauce last month, but I ran out of it. I need to get some more. But we tried barbecue sauce, and it gave it a definite taste. I might go back to the Italian dressing. Maybe we'll try some blue cheese. As long as we strain it, and as long as it's light or sugar free, as long as we strain it, the majority of the bad things go down the drain. The same way of instead of smoking a cigarette, I use these pouches. That's all they are, is a pouch. And I pretend it's a cigarette. I do the same thing with the food. I pretend. Yeah, I'm eating shrimp and rice, but it ain't got no soy sauce in it. We boiling it. We not frying it. Chun Li gave me the ideas to buy some onions and cut them up. We still got an onion in there. I cut up pieces of the onion. I put it in there with the rice and the shrimp and boil it. It adds a little flavor without adding anything bad to it, and that's what we doing. Now I could fry the onions, but then I would have to use some kind of cholesterol or some kind of oil, to fry it in. So I just put it in the pot. It's there. I can taste it, and it gives you a little flavor. And you just make do. And when you tempted by sin, instead of thinking about the things you don't have, think more about what you do have. It's not often that I see somebody have a better bike than I do. It's not often. But there's been a couple times I've seen a couple of rads. I don't think the rad is better than my bike, but it costs more. We found out that they were lying about the power. They were saying that they had 750-watt motor when it was really all 500-watt bikes peak at 750 to 800. All of them. So they saying their bikes are 750, and no, they peak at 750. So I don't get impressed. Your bike don't go no faster than mine. I'm just fatter than you is. That's all. If I was your same weight, we be going the same speed. I don't let it bother me. Not to mention, I'm not riding your bike if it was faster. I can't worry about what you riding. That's your bike. I gotta worry about mine. I know the mines do what I need to do. I ain't worried about yours. You ain't worried about mine. You only worried enough to show me that you think you got a better one. I don't pay that no mind. Because your bike might have an American name on it, but both of them made in China. So same you, Mr. Miyagi. Same you, Daniel son. What's the difference? Well, mine is better. They made in the same place. Well, what? Well, mine got a Bafang motor on it. Okay, and mine's got a Chayang. What's the difference? Both of them Chinese men. What's the difference? They both made the motor. What? But see, you'll go on and on, go on and on. Peace go with you, cause you worried about something that don't matter. You worried about something that don't matter. Just like the guy at the store, he had the DYU, the DIU. It's like 5 different versions of that little mini bike. It's a bike that's smaller than our bike, but it supposedly had a 350-watt motor on it. And y'all have seen the guy, the guy that worked at the store for years. He's had his ever since I had my little one. The first one that I got that didn't have no pedals on it, that was just a scooter shaped like a bike. It had a 350-watt motor. I had the Fred Flintstone it and help that 350-watt motor get up the hill. When we got the bike in the closet now, the Swagtron, that only had a 250-watt motor. But if I pedal with it, we could get up the hill. So the first one was 100 watts stronger, but I still had to do work on it. So he could have got a bike with my coupon and saved some money, but instead he got the Echo Trick. Hey, they all made in China. But he's had serious problems with his bike, and I haven't. But I don't laugh at him. You could have got a bike from me, and I had no problem. But instead, I don't. What good is doing that? It ain't doing him no good. Ain't doing me no good. But I know he spent a lot of money fixing this bike. The only thing we had to do with Bessie was brake pads, and that's because I was driving like a maniac and slamming on the brakes all the time. That was my fault. In fact, we might have to get a brake job again in a couple months. Y'all hearing? Wham! Well, we talking about pads that she uses to stop the wheel from moving. His whole system fell apart. But I'm 100 pounds heavier than he is. So even if his bike is inferior, my weight averages that out. If we was the race, I guarantee you, both bikes having 500-watt motors, I guarantee you he will go faster. But if we had to go uphill or steep uphill, long distance, I think because I actually got a Shimano, I think I'd take him. Being honest, I think I'd take him. But who cares? His bike take him where he got to go. My bike take me where I got to go. That's what matters. Doesn't matter what kind you have, as long as you got what it to do what you needed to do. But when you start getting into mine's better than yours and all that, God doesn't. God hates that. To him, hey, it's doing what it need to do. That's why I say whether you got a Buick or a Benz, whether you got a Toyota or a Lexus, if it's doing what you needed to do, why does the brand name matter? If I keep losing weight like this, I'm gonna need a new wardrobe. I'm looking down at my feet right now, and I can see it's a lot of stomach missing. That's something that is sad to say. I'm still fat, but it just feels strange. I had one of my favorite shirts on yesterday, and it looked a mess. People are gonna be well, luckily we ain't in the roast sector no more, but people will be making sense. Yeah, at least I got clothes that fit. Yeah, yeah, your clothes look too big on you. But it's somebody giving you hand me down. Like I'm wearing the same clothes since I've been on YouTube. Yeah, well, they look all big on you. Well, luckily we ain't got to deal with that. Do not merely listen to the word and so deceive yourselves. I think that should be no. Do not listen to the word and deceive yourself. I think that should be on listen to the world, but okay. Do what it says. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in a mirror. Okay, that is correct. And after looking at himself, goes away and immediately forgets what he looks like. Anyone who listens to the word but does not do what it says is like someone who looks at his face in the mirror and after looking at him or herself, goes away and immediately forgets what he or she looks like. There's so many good points here. It's taking forever to get through these two chapters. I know y'all are like, Don, he ain't going on and on. But take a listen to what he said. If you hear the word and don't do what it say, but make up your own interpretation of the word. Because a lot of us can hear somebody say something. It could be 10 of us. And only 3 of us might agree to 10 on what that person said. Only those that are righteous are going to be allowed to continue on. I could say that to 10 people. And people say, yeah, but there's always extenuating circumstances, There's always a loophole. There's always a way to get around that. I don't think that what you said meant what you said. Because when you say righteous, just because I'm doing a little bit wrong, that don't mean I can't be right. And see, somebody say a little catchphrase like that, and then people going around, hey, I know what I'm doing is wrong. Well, hey, I ain't wrong all the time, so I gotta be right. I'm just not right now. But other times, I'm right on. As long as you keep convincing yourself of that, you'll be able to talk yourself into allowing any kind of evil to be in your presence. And you'll accept it or ignore it or bury it. And it'll fester and grow. Before you know it, everybody be doing it. That's the way evil works. So he continues, whoever looks intently into the perfect law that gives freedom and continues on in it, not forgetting what they have heard, but doing it, they will be blessed in what they do. Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. Those who consider themselves religious and yet do not keep a tight rein on their tongues deceive themselves, and their religion is worthless. Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. My brothers and sisters, believers in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ must not show favoritism. Suppose a man comes into your meeting wearing a gold ring and fine clothes, and a poor man in filthy old clothes also comes in. If you show special attention to the one wearing fine clothes and say, here's a good seat for you, but say to the poor man, you stand over there or sit on the floor by my feet, have you not discriminated amongst yourselves and became judges with evil thoughts? Hmm. Listen, my dear brothers and sisters, has God not chosen those who are poor in the eyes of the world to be rich in faith and to inherit the kingdom he promised those who love him? But you have dishonored the poor. It is not the rich who are exploiting you. Is it not the rich who are exploiting you? Are they not the ones who are dragging you into court? Are they not the ones who are blaspheming the noble name of whom to you belong, of him to whom you belong? If you really keep the royal law found in Scripture, love your neighbor as yourself, you are doing right. But if you show favoritism, you sin are convicted by law as lawbreakers. For whoever keeps the law and yet stumbles at just one point is guilty of breaking all of it. For whoever keeps the law and yet stumbles at one point is guilty of breaking all of it. I think that that's a very good point right there. Some people say, well, I'm only going to do a little bit of sin. I'm only going to do a little bit of dirt. I'm just going to go mess around and then I'll come right back. If you even do a little bit, you separated yourself from Jesus and God. A lot of people say, well, I'm only going, it's okay if I go out there and, I can go out there and smoke some crack. I'm like, you know, I ain't gonna get hooked on it. I just do it one time and see what it's like, and if I like it, maybe I'll do it, twice a week, and I won't get hooked on it. Once you open the door, it's hard to close it. For he who said, "You shall not commit adultery," also said, "You shall not murder." If you do not commit adultery but commit murder, you become a lawbreaker. Speak and act as those who are going to be judged by the law that gives freedom, because judgment without mercy will be shown to anyone who has not been merciful. Judgment without mercy will be shown to anyone who has not been merciful. Merciful triumphs over the judgment. Read that again. Speak and act as those who are going to be judged by the law that gives freedom, because judgment without mercy will be shown to anyone who has not been merciful. Judgment without mercy will be shown to anyone who has not been merciful. Mercy triumphs over judgment. I think that's a typo. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Hey, I covered this. Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you says to them, "Go in peace, keep warm and well fed," but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself is not accompanied by action, it is dead. But someone will say, "You have faith, I have deeds." Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds. You believe there is one God. Good. Even the demons believe that and shudder. You foolish person, do you want evidence that faith without deeds is useless? Was it not our father Abraham considered righteous for what he did when he offered his son Isaac on the altar? You see that his faith and his actions were working together, and his faith was made complete by what he did. And the scripture was fulfilled that says, Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness, and he was called God's friend. You see that a person is considered righteous by what they do and not by faith alone. In the same way, was it not even Rahab the prostitute considered righteous for what she did when she gave lodging to the spies and sent them off in different directions? As the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead. So you got a lot of people. I didn't know this was in here. I ain't read this in years. But I'll smile. Faith without deeds, to back it up, is useless. Deeds without faith, working alongside it, is useless. That's why I say when a lot of people do things, if they don't do it because they think that Jesus and God would approve of it, but they do it just to get favoritism or somebody to like them, or to get likes or views or be in the paper, that's your reward right there. It's not going down in your book of life as a good deed. It's not going to be marked at all. You got your reward. Your reward came from your fellow man. There's no reward from Jesus and God because you didn't do it for them. You did it to impress your fellow man. Was that it? It took a while to get through the first one. Yep, that was it. Alrighty. Okay, it said to refresh the page. Wait a minute. No, it's still there. Well, it's showing up on the Reverend channel as that person is deleted, but it's still showing up on there. So, anybody have any questions or thoughts? We covered James 1 and 2. Anybody disagree with anything that James or I said? Anybody have an opinion? Well, it's 11:22. The Raston went off at 10, so I'm gonna go ahead and I gotta try and decide. I got some chicken legs. I got some unsweetened corn, and I got some shrimp and rice. I gotta decide what I'm gonna make for a meal. I know for dessert, I got 4 tangerines left, and I got one little cup of unsweetened applesauce. But the market opened at 6 a.m. Like I said, I ordered some more honey nut Cheerios, and I ordered some milk. The milk is in the milk is made. It's made out of oats, but it tastes like milk. I mean, it tastes like 2% milk, and my sugar didn't go up when I had it. So hey, I ain't complaining. So I'll have that, but I'm definitely gonna get instead of getting one bag at a time, I'm gonna go ahead and load up on the shrimp. I really like that jumbo shrimp, and I hope it's still on sale. And I'm gonna get like 5 bags of it and put it in the freezer. So I ain't got. I'm gonna get like five. I'm gonna get like 5 bags of it, put it in the freezer. So at least if I can get 4 meals out of every bag, that that'll be sweet. And they got the chicken on sale. I might get like 4 or 5 packs. I'm trying to think if I'm gonna take the wagon because I might just go ahead and stock up. I think getting a little bit of stuff at a time, even though it gives us more trips to the market, I think I should load up on some stuff instead of getting a little bit at a time. I think we should load up. But but everything is charged up and ready to go. I might charge up the light on the light on the trailer because we might just go load up, and then that way I think I would do better if I went and loaded up. Maybe get like well I want to see how the I want to see how the elbow noodles do because it seemed to be in a box, and if it's in a, I might be able to get a lot more out of there. So we'll see. And like I said, we'll get this spaghetti sauce, but we're gonna strain it like we do everything. We strain it. So whatever gets cooked in, but there won't be no excess because we're gonna strain it out. There won't be no excess. So that's been one of the secrets. Getting rid of all the excess because it's the excess stuff. If you make some Kool-Aid, when you look at the bottom of the pitcher, you see that sugar sitting down there. But if you strain the Kool-Aid, it would catch that sugar that's sitting at the bottom. That sugar at the bottom could really raise your sugar. But if you could strain it out, and that's my intent, Strain out the extra, because that extra could be the difference in 10 or 20 points on your sugar level. That extra could be less stuff for your body that had to get rid of. So it don't sound like much, but it is. It don't sound like much, but it is. So anyway, since I got the minister channel and the reverend channel going at the same time, we're not gonna look at any news. I don't have to worry about getting copyrighted or flagged. Maybe we should have done the reverend channel. So I'll just call it a night. Nobody's chatting anyway. So as Nia would say, see you soon. And Chung Lee would say, don't leave home without the wash spray. If some of y'all are up, I'm going out tomorrow. It's gonna be early. We're gonna be doing a mobile live. We're gonna be taking the camera with the new memory card, and we're gonna be doing a mobile live because I'm going to have to take the old memory card. I already got it back in the package that the new one came in the same packaging. I'm just going to have them retape it at UPS, and we're going to send the old memory card that just stopped working after using it one time. It just stopped working. So we'll see. But anyway, y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'll see y'all this morning for those of you who want to come along. And y'all have a great night. We out. Peace, everybody.